So before we begin with that, what is outcome-based education, how to implement it, and how the NEP or how the industry involvement, what are the various interplay of technology, we'll be talking about all these things. But before all these topics which we need to cover, the first and the foremost which I want to cover is the curriculum design process, because I've seen in my 25 years of experience now I have in teaching. So basically, I'm electronics and communication engineer, and last 20, I have more than now 25 years of experience in teaching undergraduate and postgraduate students. So I have seen there are a lot of misconceptions about what curriculum is. It's a very broader term which we use it very liberally. We use this. Okay, we have to design the curriculum. We have to design or implement the curriculum. But I don't know how many of you have very clear idea about what the curriculum is. Yeah, any one of you can just unmute and tell me that what do you think that what curriculum actually is. Okay, is there any difference between syllabus and curriculum? You make the syllabus, every teacher has the contents and the syllabi provided to them. So is that the curriculum itself? You can put in the chat box. If you're not able to unmute, you can put in the chat box. But I would really appreciate if I get some answers in the chat box. Is the syllabi and curriculum one and the same thing?
Madam, can I explain about curriculum?
Yes, sir, please.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. As per the curriculum means whatever the course we are learning and whatever the subjects in that course. So that tells about the curriculum. What exactly the subjects we are having for that particular course? That exactly is called curriculum.
And what is syllabus? Syllabi?
Syllabi means what are the different subjects, and in that particular subjects, what are the depth of that subjects. You can divide as a whole as a syllabus.
Okay, syllabus is okay, but not the curriculum part. But anyway, thank you, Dr. DG Gange. Anyone else?
Curriculum is a collection of all subjects.
Collection of all subjects. Okay, and what about the syllabus?
Syllabus is particularly contains what we have in the particular course or the subject. Contents in that particular subject.
Okay, you are okay. Little a bit like okay, fine. You are on the right way, but not the exact definition. Yes. Anybody else? Okay.
Yes.
So it means there is less idea about what the curriculum is, how it is different from the curriculum the syllabi, and what process. See, yeah, yes, Nidhi Sharma ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Actually, can I define the curriculum and syllabus?
Yeah, sure.
Curriculum is actually, it is designed like it's a combination of different topics, subjects, and whatever the activities which we include to define that. And syllabus, it's just only a little portion of the topic which is covered in a particular subject. So
Yeah.
curriculum is as a whole
Yeah.
actually.
Actually, curriculum is not only related to that what is to be taught, that is your syllabus, right? Curriculum involves each and everything, how you need to teach, all the pedagogy, how you need to deliver the sessions, how you are going to assess the students, what evaluation techniques or methods you are employing, how you are choosing the subjects, which subjects are to be taught in which semester, or is there any prerequisite to that syllabus, or what should follow which subject, right? Madam Satya Priya, please unmute. Please mute yourself. Thank you. So curriculum is an curriculum is an overall feel of overall amalgamation of what to be taught, how to be taught, and how to evaluate, and then how to monitor and move in the direction for the quality improvement. So it is not only the that what contents or syllabus is what to be taught. Okay, I need to teach mobile communication. These are the contents which are to be taught. I need to teach VLSI. These are the contents. I need to teach basic electronics or any. These are the syllabus. But how to teach, what pedagogies are to be employed, and whether communication theory should go first or communication system, which syllabus, how the integration of the syllabus, whether it is vertical integration moving from one semester to second to third and to fourth, or the horizontal integration, that in this fourth semester what subject should be taught, right? And then when you're teaching, how to teach, which subject should be taught through only through the chalk and talk way, or through the online or the practice based, or in the project based, or in the labs, how to teach, and then how to evaluate the students. This entire thing is basically the curriculum part. So it becomes very very important. And I have seen, if the autonomous college in the morning who was saying that we are autonomous college and we are making the curriculum, can quickly anybody tell that how you make curriculum? Those who are autonomous and those who are designing their own curriculum, how do they do that? Do they have any particular team? Yeah, yes, yes. Who is it? Yes, Nidhi ma'am.
We also, I am from ASMS IOIT Pune, and
Ma'am, you have been muted again.
hello, am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am, this is our second year in autonomy,
Hmm,
and how we design our college is engineering college. I'm from
hmm,
ASMS IOIT Pune.
hmm.
So what we do, we exactly have designed the syllabus according to the demand of industry, because
Good,
whatever at present the syllabus is there in SPPU, it's not updated, not according to the industry demand.
hmm.
So the student should have the field, should have the knowledge what is going at present, what is the latest development, what technology is used. So that's why starting from first year we have designed, either like I'm chemistry professor, so
Hmm.
we have even changed the subject name, it is industrial chemistry now. So we have
Good.
included the topics which are demanded in industry, so by that the students can implement, at least if they get the idea, so they can develop the techniques.
So you are taking the input from the stakeholders,
Yeah, yeah,
especially the industry people,
yeah, yeah,
because our end product is the student who has to be employable in
yeah,
that industry. Yeah,
definitely.
commendable, commendable. Thank you, ma'am. Thank
Thank you,
you.
ma'am.
Yeah. Yes, Ajay Kumar Jagtap ji. Ajay ji, you have raised hand. You want to speak something or गलती से हो गया आपका ये? Yes, Manikandan sir.
Actually, we are getting the feedback from all the stakeholders and that too from industrial experts and the academic person from outside our campus, outside colleges, and the people involved in the particular department. We are getting all the inputs and we are framing the curriculum and syllabus according to the need of the industry.
Right. So it means you have a some curriculum development committee,
Yes,
which may include head of the department, some of the senior faculty members,
yes,
right?
yes,
Even the students or alumni and industry people.
yes,
So all these stakeholders are being included, and then brainstorming is done. And what is the requirement at the industry level, or at the global level, or at the local level also? Then you are designing the curriculum. That's good.
yes,
But yeah, but sometimes I've seen in some colleges what usually the college people are doing, taking the like suppose I have to design a subject of say communication system. So opening the site of some NITs, some IITs, some triple ITs, jotting them down, and then mix and match, and uh, checking what is common and what is good, and they just frame it, right? So this is the general, I'm not saying everyone, but general type of the attitude is this. So that is why first I want to bring to your uh, knowledge that what is curriculum and what process properly should be followed for the design of the curriculum. What are the key elements which we should keep in mind while designing the curriculum? And what are the different types of curriculum based on whether you are from technical background, that is you are from engineering college, or you are a polytechnic, or your ITI, or your non-technical background. So what are the what we have different type of curriculums, or what parameters have to be kept in mind while designing the curriculum, and then how to plan the curriculum, right? And proper, this is about the process, about the implementation and development. In the afternoon session we'll talk about, right? So if I see simply the theoretical part, the curricula is a two-wheeler chariot drawn by horses. That is called the curricula, right? So basically the word comes from there, that it is the curricula which is driving the horses in the race. And in our case, our students are the horses which are moving in the track, which are moving in the study track along the during their course of study to win the race of achieving their academic benchmarks. So basically curriculum is not only the syllabus, it is everything that happens in the relation to the educational program. As I said, beginning from the what is the requirement of the society, what is the requirement of the community, what is the requirement of the academics, what is the requirement of the industry, global, and where our students are being placed, how, at what level they are being placed, right? What type of teachers we are employing, what type of instructional strategies we are employing, everything, how we are evaluating, on what criterias, everything that is related to this study tour is basically the curriculum. So it is not only simple syllabus, it is not only the list of contents or a timetable or anything. They are the sub modules or sub parts of the curriculum. Yes, syllabus of, once the subject is decided, say mobile communication has to be in fourth semester, right? And say project management or TQM has to be an elective or has to be in fifth semester. So if that flow is decided, then the contents of that subject is basically the syllabus, right? So curriculum encompasses the entire ambit of what a student or a teacher or an education ecosystem is doing for the students. Fine. So when I talk about this, means we want to formulate the curriculum. So we have to keep few things in the mind. See, main aim is the learning part, the formal or the informal. So if we divide it into the quadrants, whether on the job or off the job, it means when the student is in the class, attending the classes, or when the student is out from the class, like after 5:30, after the schedule of the class is over. And then conscious or unconscious learning, which the syllabus content is there and you are making them learn, right? And there are certain skills, certain values, certain knowledge or information which the student learns unconsciously, right? And the best example, if I uh, give, okay, this is just so on the job. Conscious is that we have the syllabus, we are teaching the students and students are learning, we tell them the learning outcomes and the students are learning. On the job, unconscious is something which he learns accidentally. I'll give you the example. Then off the job, conscious is some structured learning. That is some extra knowledge he's gaining, some like NPTEL courses are there, or some he's taking some tuitions, or he's attending some workshops or online MOOC courses. That is structured learning. And something which is accident learning. I take the best example is the when we in the lab, right? I hope that everyone who are taking the lab classes, in the one set we are engaging 3-4 students. I don't think that any of the college will be having that much of infrastructure that every student is given one setup, or computer based or programming based labs, that may happen. But if I talk about the general labs, say electronics or mechanical or civil, so a group of 3-4 students they are working on the same kit or the same one setup, right? So when we ask them to do or perform a lab or perform a job or practical, that is their conscious learning. That they were, see, I'm from electronics background, so I will always have the examples of electronics in my mind, but you can just relate it with your stream. So suppose any one practical, say AM or FM practical, communication practical has to be given to the student, so he's doing that and he's learning. But see, when we are making a group of 4 students, so when they are working together in unison, they are learning teamwork, they are learning interpersonal skills. You might have noticed, we all are teachers. Out of those 4, one may be very good in doing the all the connections and job and everything. One may be good in making the readings or analysis part or drawing the circuit and all. One may be good at noting the reading and bringing all other things. All the 4 students may be good at some job, but they are doing together as a team. So that one may be leader, one may be a good worker, a good helping hand. So all these soft skills, all these parameters which are not the part of the curriculum, but in a way the students are learning. So that is your on the job unconscious learning. Staying in the hostel, staying in the same room, dealing with a person with a different different attitude, different way of living, different style of thinking, and everything is different, but staying in the same room, sharing everything, right? Sharing the food, sharing the room, every that is your unconscious of the job. They are not the part of the curriculum right now, but the students are learning, right? So this is like you have to keep in mind that how to. And now, because with NEP you also might have seen that now they are going, these type of skills are being incorporated in your curriculum also, making the yoga compulsory, making human values and ethics compulsory. So all these things are coming as the part of the on the job anyway. So that is another part. So now, first and the foremost thing is the curriculum should not be static. It's not that once the curriculum has been made and then we are till 5 years or 10 years we are not changing it. No, especially the technical curriculum related to the technical subjects, because the technology is updating or it is changing. It is so much dynamic. Every year, you see what we learned. Okay, I did my BTech 25 more than 25 years now, but even if I take back of 5 years or 10 years, what was the contents which we were teaching to our students? How the technology has changed, and we have to squeeze in some new subjects. If we were teaching simple communication theory, communication process, then came okay satellite communication, mobile communication, and now we are moving into the more intricacies of the 5G, 4G, all these things, right? So the curriculum should also be dynamic. So it should not be that for 10 years, but again it should not be dynamic that every year you are changing it. But you should have certain slots, certain areas where you can pitch in some uh, you know uh, changes which are required, like in the form of electives. I'll talk about when I'll talk about the uh, design of the curriculum. So it should be dynamic, but to a certain extent. But at least there should be a space, there should be certain slots where the changes can be incorporated. Like fundamentals are important. Before without knowing the transistor, or without knowing the basic data structures, or without knowing the mechanics, or without knowing the any fundamental of electrical engineering, student cannot move further. So some fundamental concepts, basic subjects are to be there, obviously, but we have to make some slots, or some we have to figure out that the requirement. So if I have batteries, knowledge about batteries and all, but there should be a slot where electrical vehicles can fit in. There should be a slot where any, say, MEMS in electronics can fit in. So dynamism has to be there, but relative dynamism has to be there, because society is changing, concept of learning is changing, right? and COVID has taught us. We were all teaching, all the teaching learning were more the face to face teaching learning, in the classroom teaching, or labs were also conducted face to face. But COVID taught us that how to shift from, suddenly within a no time, like 10 days, 15 days, we all teachers were shifted from the offline learning to the online learning. Style of teaching was changed. Similarly, assessment was also changed. And then now, like, I hope you must be knowing about augmented reality and virtual reality tools. They have come up. So if I say, okay, we talk about so much of uh, waves, everyone is having mobile, everyone knows how to use it, but we are not able to see how the signal is reaching here, how the signal, the waves are converted into the electrical and then the sound, or how the signal is being transmitted from the antenna and received by this mobile antenna. So if we use and the students are just grabbing it, they're not able to see. So if we use certain new technologies, maybe of augmented reality or virtual reality, or say holograms also, and we can show the students how the waves are moving and how the antennas are working, that will enhance their knowledge. So newer teaching technologies should also be incorporated in the curriculum, right? So if I now talk about various types of curriculum, few we all know, we may not be knowing the definitions, but we are doing it in our call institutes. So we know that core curriculum, that is the where we require the basic and essential learning that is required. As I said, if you are a mechanical engineer, you need to have the basics of mechanics, basics of strength of materials, thermodynamics, or graphics, or workshop technology. So they are the core curriculum. But some of them have to be elective, that is to give the flexibility, as I said, to pave the way, or pave the space for the requirement of the present times or the future times. So to augment the core subjects, we have elective modules where the students can learn the new topic or can have flexibility or a choice of subject to have understand the knowledge, right? So these are two main which we know. Apart from this, we have discipline based curriculum, competence based curriculum, problem based, community based, and integrated based, right? Some names, I think they are self explanatory, that discipline based, particular to if you are going for electronics engineer. So what uh, the all these subjects should be related or interrelated to the discipline of electronics and communication. Competency based, if you are developing the curriculum for the ITI or for vocational courses, then what type of competency you require to develop in the student. Problem based, community based is a separate one, and integrated maybe you require the discipline also and competency also, which is presently the required, the need of the hour, right? So these are simple ones, but I want to talk about the hidden curriculum and the null curriculum, which we do not really cater to, or we should keep in mind while designing the curriculums. So if I say hidden curriculum, that is those aspects that students learn during the course which the institution has not set out to teach. The example which I want to give here is, anybody can give, okay, okay, now definitions are there. Can I have some inputs from the participants? Can you cite some example which you think is the part of hidden curriculum? Anyone? See, I mentioned that please make the sessions interactive as far as it can be. Anyway, so hidden curriculum is like, suppose in tutorials, or you are giving some topic for seminars. I hope your curriculum might be containing this seminar part or presentation. So if you are making the student present a seminar on some topic which is not the part of the curriculum, right? So then that qualities of that learning which the students will acquire, that is when he is standing in front of the class, the personality, the communication skills, the confidence level of facing his peers, say 30 students, and taking the questions from them. Self learning, it is not the part of the syllabus. No teacher is there to make him learn, to tell him where to get the information from, which book to follow. He is learning by himself through net or whatsoever. So he is learning by himself. He is making the presentations, so he knows how the knowledge has to be disseminated. He has that confidence to face, the personality to talk, the communication skills. So these are all, uh, the skills which are not the part of the curriculum but the students are learning. So when we are designing the curriculum, we should keep in mind that some portion or some subjects or some time slot should be kept, or some instructions should be given to the teachers that these things are to be incorporated, because they are the hidden curriculum which may not be written on the papers that this subject, but they are basically unconscious on the job learning, right? So that is we meant by hidden. Then we have the null curriculum. Null curriculum, best example as I've given, the level of the contents, the syllabi, the way of delivering of the teacher, way of assessing, that should not be to a, that should be a level of up to the level which that particular degree requires. So if a student of MTech is there and you are teaching a subject of first year BTech, it's of no use. As I've given cited the example here, that MBBS curriculum should not be, should be that the student is becoming a doctor. You do not want the curriculum of the MBBS that he should become a doctor with just nursing skills. He knows how to take temperature, he knows how to put the injection, he knows how to write the slip and all, but whether his knowledge is there or not, right? So when you make a design a curriculum for a MTech, syllabus may be same. We usually write advanced, right? You have a neural network or machine learning course in the 8th semester, and then same course in the MTech also, and say an advanced course in the PhD part also. So subject contents should be designed, curriculum should be designed in a way that they come up to the level of the degree or the level at which the student is there. So it should not be a null curriculum, right? Any questions up till this? Okay. So the curriculum, when it has to be designed, as I already mentioned, what is the goals when you design, when you should have a whole committee. I'll talk about that if I have okay, let it come when it comes. So basically, if I say an entire committee should be there, a proper group should be there to design the curriculum for the planning part. Basically, the first and the foremost thing is the planning part, that what are the objectives, what are the goals. So if you are planning the curriculum for BTech in electronics and communication, what are the objectives? That is, or you may say that again, those who are already done NBA and all, NAC and NB, they must be familiar with these words, but those who are not, we'll talk about this also. So what are the objectives? So it means what are the program objectives, outcomes, what are the course outcomes? That is, if a student is coming to study BTech in your college, what are the outcomes which are expected from him when he leaves after 4 year or after 3 year of diploma program, what he should be, what he should have learned, what should be his cognitive capabilities, what should be the skill in his hand. So that all are the objectives are to be framed. The program outcomes, which is okay now fixed, but then course outcomes, program educational objectives, and they all should be in tune with the vision and the mission of the institute or the department. So we'll talk about these particular things later. But first thing which I want to focus upon is the goals of the program. That is, what are the objectives, right? And then comes the contents which are to be taught, right? So if objectives are clear, that okay, electronics and communication engineering So it means he need to learn about electronics, he need to learn about communication. So what are the contents which are to be uh, made the part of the curriculum, right? And then yes, learning methods. What learning method should be employed? How the organization, this part is usually less focused upon. Subjects bana liye, okay, basic electronics, electrical, digital electronics, then digital theory, communication theory, digital communication. But what should be the flow? What is the prerequisite? What is the after, what you have to teach after? That organization of contents is not taken care of. That is sequence of implementation, how the contents are to be sequenced. Then teaching strategies, yes. Description and allocation of resources. So if you want to teach a subject of, say, power electronics, so do you have that lab? Do you have that all set up? Or if you want to teach of antenna, do you have the machines, or do you have that benches or VSWR meter? So what resources you have and what resources you want to procure. If they are not in place, then deployment of those resources are also the part of this curriculum. And then comes the how you will assess, how you will assess, how will you evaluate, and also the correction part, right? So plan for evaluation and correction or adjustment. This entire thing is basically the, when you are beginning to design the curriculum, these all things should be in line. Then only we can go for the curriculum. And along with it, now we have to take care, because now there is the knowledge is like multiplying, in exponentially. So we have to see whether information overload to nahi ho raha hai. What is the, how much time is being the student is putting up in the classroom? What are the other opportunities, or burden to nahi ho raha hai? So all these things. So what credits must be given, how much time should be given to each lecture, how much time should be given for the practical, how much time for the curricular activities. All these should be planned in tune for the design of the curriculum, right? So if I say the curriculum cycle, first and the foremost before the designing part is the need assessment, right? And I tell you, dear friends, we at NITR are doing this entire exercise before designing any curriculum. As I said, we are designing right now for the Punjab and for the Haryana and Jammu Kashmir. So our team is working totally on these lines. So the first and the foremost is the need assessment. Why do you require ITI, diploma, BTech, MTech, where the college is situated, whether it is near to the industry, where the students are being placed, what are the type of the input the students, the college is getting. If it is located in a remote rural area, so the diploma students, what type of student they are getting, or the college is located in a metro area, so what type of, or it is in the industrial setup. So need assessment has to be there. Once need assessment is there and all these parameters are there, then you can design. Once design is done, then we have to see what is the implementation. Design may be good, NITR may give you a very good curriculum design, right? But at the main thing is its implementation at the ground level, at the ground zero. If it is not properly implemented, we say, okay, you should have these type of labs, these type of setups, but you do not have anything. It's just a room and lab is given. Or if you have computer, they're so outdated. We are asking them to you to teach C++ or Python and work on them, and you are teaching them just the simple C. So implementation of curriculum is very, very important, because of that proper implementation you will get the good output. And this is a feedback mechanism type of thing. Need assessment will give the inputs for a better design. If design is good, implementation will be better, because in design it will be everything is covered, right? What strategies, what teaching, everything. So if implementation is good, output will be good. If output is good, or if there is certain lacuna in this, then the again the feedback is given and it can be reassessed whether what what went wrong, or how to what steps should be taken for the much better results or the output. So basically, just go through this. This is the definition given by the curriculum scientist, we call him, in 1962. Right? So it is the same story, that identify first aims and goals and objectives, selection of learning, selection of contents, organization of and integration of the contents, and then evaluation. So this is the crux of the entire design process. So there are certain definitions, like it is arrangement of ordered learning outcomes intended to be achieved through instructions, arrangement of ordered learning experience to be provided in instructional situation, scheme for planning and providing learning experience, right? So now these are the components of designing of a curriculum. So when we are designing the curriculum, it is the same thing, but now you can make it very clearly that what steps at every level should be taken. So first, what objectives should be done, contents, what matter or what contents, syllabi, it should be included, what instructional strategies, what resources, what activities, all our learning experience, and then the evaluation part, what method should be used to judge the to evaluate, right? So basically, design involves the issues based on three basic ideas: theoretical ideas, practical ideas, and some philosophical ideas. That what is to be taught, how it is to be taught, what parameters are to be taken care of, right? And then certain philosophical ideas also, that on what criteria the selection of objectives or selection of content has to be taken place. Yeah. Now, this is the main thing. Please focus on this, and whenever you are part of the curriculum committee or you are dealing with the curriculum, so this is a basic curriculum organization, how we have to go through it. So as I was mentioning that, okay, we frame the objectives, we frame the program outcomes, course outcomes, we frame the some name of the subjects, okay, that in suppose it's a 3-year diploma, so 6 semesters, what contents are to be taken care of, and if it is a 4-year degree, so 8 semesters, how we have to move. But main thing is the horizontal organization and vertical organization. As I was mentioning earlier, again it can be divided into two. So I'll talk about them one by one. So horizontal organization, the main thing is, so horizontal means that what is studied in that particular course, that is in terms of course contents or in terms of evaluation. And vertical is when you are moving from one semester to other semester and the other semester. So what contents or what is required to move to the other semester or to read that subject. So if I say that we have to make them study um, artificial intelligence, so obviously basics of machine learning or neural network have to be taught earlier. So how the how progressively we have to see, that is the part of this vertical organization. So in horizontal organization, we have two parameters which has to be taken care of: scope and integration. So scope is basically the depth of the content, that is what type of, how much, at will what level, because as I said, it's not the earlier times that the knowledge was restricted, right? Knowledge is now, ma'am, class name. So it is now so much of wide information is available everywhere. So what is the scope of that particular subject? What content should be there? What topic should be covered? What cognitive level capabilities the student has to be developed, right? So if that will depend obviously upon, say if it is a first year subject and I'm teaching the basic of electronics, I cannot directly go to MOS and CMOS or MEMS or all. I need to start with the, so the scope of that topic is start with the even if I'm starting with the PN junction or the rectifiers or the even the transistor, then transistor also up to a some extent. So what depth has to be covered, what knowledge has to be given, that is your scope, right? So simple listing of key topics, what cognitive capabilities you want to engage in the students, right? What psychometer or uh, affective learning, this we'll talk about in the tomorrow session. So basically scope means how much, and then all these, when you know that this is the depth, these are the contents, then this information also, that how many periods, how many hours in a week has to be given to the student for this every unit, how you have to how many hours for the conduct, and how many marks should be given for the assessment. That is your scope. And then if I talk about continuously with this, then it is the sequence, the order of arrangement. That okay, first semester you taught basic electronics, transistors, then you teach okay, now the part of the analog electronics, that the as a transistor can be used for the power amplifiers or amplifiers, so on, right? Or so that is basically the vertical relationship amongst the elements to provide continuous and cumulative learning. So hierarchical manner, how the subject flow has to go, that is to be taught. So if you are say from uh, any other, you can take computer science also. So if you are teaching them data structures through C, then you are moving to Python, or then moving use of Python, then use of Python interdisciplinary. So what is the continuous stream we should follow for the knowledge part? That is your sequencing. Okay. So principle of sequencing is it can be simple to complex. That is, you start with the the fundamentals or the basic concepts, and then you move to their application part or to the complex part, right? So prerequisite learning, that is fundamental things. Whole to part learning, that okay, first you uh, give the entire view, and then in details. So suppose if I take the example of artificial intelligence, so one way is first give them one and subject of artificial intelligence. So that will learn entire overview of artificial intelligence, which will cover machine learning, which may cover NLP also, right? Which may cover computer vision also. So that can be one entire syllabus, and then one by one the part learning, one subject entirely related to machine learning, one subject entirely related to natural language processing, and one subject entirely relating to computer vision, so on. So it can be any way you can follow, whole to part learning or part to whole learning also. And then chronological learning, that is the basic of again it is that how we should go, and whether communication theory should be taught first or communication system. This I have seen so many. I am because I'm member of some of the BUS of the different engineering colleges. So I've seen this. They will say, okay, communication system is easy. Let them first learn communication system. No, first communication theory should be taught, then communication system should be taught. Because we are following, okay, Kennedy ki book utao, and we are able to do no. So proper chronology of the sequencing of the contents has to be taken care of. Okay. So this again I'm not going into detail. Third part comes is the continuity. So here we had scope for the within the system, sequences when we are following, that is vertical, and then the continuity. So if you are teaching like one subject, so in first semester, so its continuation should not be taught in the third or fourth semester, because it should be like okay, you start with the basic electronics, you start with the analog electronics, then you move to the say VLSI, or you start with the CMOS, or you start, a proper sequencing should be there, and but there should be a continuity should be there, but there should be no repetition. So this is to be taken care of. So proper weightage has to be given, and then the last part is integration, and before that is balance. Obviously the curriculum should be balance in keeping in mind the vision and mission of the institute, balance keeping in mind the objectives framed, right? balance keeping in mind the level of the uh, or the what which level the students are coming in, that is for diploma or degree or whatsoever. So that balance has to be properly framed while designing the curriculum. Okay, so fine tuning with the even the philosophy and psychology of learning, how you are inculcating those values, how you are enhancing the students mental capabilities, everything has to be taken care when you are saying the balancing of the curriculum. And then final is integration. Everything which you are making the part of the curriculum has to be properly integrated, whether it is horizontal relationship or whether it is vertical relationship. So if even horizontal, say in one semester you are having 5 subjects, so which nowadays uh, abhi tak what we are being doing, that okay, one subject of two subject electronics, one subject communication, one of humanities, one of basic maths or something, and then so on. Now there is one another school of thought also. Instead of making the student learn 5 different subjects for 15 weeks, right? If I say one semester, it is 14 to 15 weeks. So what our curriculum is right now, that we are taking 5 subjects, the general 5 subjects we have, and we are teaching all those 5 subjects in one semester for the 15 weeks. And the student, some student may be good in one, some student may be good in two, some may be three, some may not be good in, say, computer science, some may be good in practical, some may not be good in theory, some may be good in programming, some may not be good in. So now one school of thought has come up. They say instead of teaching them 40 hours for one subject for 15 weeks, divide the 3 weeks, let it be only one subject. Let the student get the entire knowledge of that particular subject for learning the entire information. Right? Say if I say digital electronics, so in 3 weeks, entire digital electronics. Next 3 weeks, say one subject is of communication, so say one subject of communication. Third subject, say totally of maths or so. So this is another coming up, but there are pros and cons, and they are doing the pilot study also. But this type of psychological, keeping in view the psychological aspect, that student is always, his mind is divided into 5 compartments, learning 5 different subjects, and so making it a single compartment type. Okay, one subject, then one, then one, then one, like this. But yes, they are still on these lines. Okay, so this is the integration part. Any questions up till now?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so basically we have 3 curriculums: subject centric, learner centric, and problem centric designs. So it again depend upon the curriculum which you are, for what you are designing. So when we are saying the curriculum designing, I am giving the example of no doubt for the entire diploma or degree or postgraduate, but this can be a curriculum design even for this 5 day program. When you are designing a FDP program, or you are designing, say, uh, um, a small training module for the students, for their, in that case also, these things should be kept in mind. So well, like if I am designing 5 day program for this curriculum design development, so I need to keep in mind that what is the need of the assessment, what is the need assessment, what flow should I make, and whether it should be subject oriented or it should be learner centered, right? So this, what I'm all talking about, is not only pertinent only to the diploma or degree, but any curriculum, maybe of smallest 1 day program or a 5 day program or 15-day training, you can use these concepts there also. Okay. Okay, so first one is the subject center, which is the oldest one and best known. That is, it is the teacher centric, right? Textbook treatment is there. That is, you have some standard books, you have some standard contents. Teachers are given those syllabi. Teachers follow that conventional method, and the students are taught that okay, these are the subjects, and you have to be taught upon this one. But it's, again, as I said, every curriculum has its own pros and cons. So strength is that yes, you introduce the students to the essential knowledge of society. So if he is entering into the electronics, so he should know what are the basic knowledge he should acquire before becoming an electronics engineer? Easy to deliver, textbooks are available, everything is there. But weakness is that it disempowered the students to choose the contents, because it is totally teacher centric. Teacher is going to decide what to teach. Teacher is going to decide how to teach. Teacher is just delivering and lecturing, right? It is only one way communication. But it is not so, and nowadays this is considered as a loophole, not a strength but a weakness, because it is not student centric. Okay, so it fails to foster social, psychological, physical development. It neglects students needs and interest. अब स्टूडेंट को अगर इकोनॉमिक्स नहीं पढ़नी है बट हमारे सिलेबस में इकोनॉमिक्स है, so we will teach him. Students does not want to learn say quality management, but he has to. Okay? So it fosters the students passivity, which is a negative side. Then comes the second one is, okay, so subject centric, and then the learner centric. Okay, in that also you have discipline design. I won't talk about this broad fall field or correlation of process design. Then you have learner centered design. So nowadays in with NAP also, with choice based curriculum, this type of curriculum design is coming up more emphatically. That is, it is child or the student centered design. What the student wants to learn, how the student wants to learn. That is why we are coming up with these MOOCs, with the online classes. Is student like abhi, now if given a chance, okay, you people come for the offline and come at NITR to attend this course, or you want to sit at home and attend this course. So it is learner centric decision which is being taken, right? It is experience centric. So again, so student must be active in the child center or student center. It is student experience centered curriculum, what the student wants to learn. I'm in the BUSC last year, if North Indians must be knowing about this. So we have designed a course there with it, with a computer science as a major and a minor in psychology, because there were students who wanted to have knowledge about the psychology. So what student wants to learn, what is his interest, what are his need, right? So on that criterias, the curriculum has to be designed, that what is the what how effective you can make the learning, and how the students tendency to become, or students wants to get engaged, he is active in learning part. So that is your child centered design. Or you have experience centered design, so it is not pre-planned but on the spot. Okay, this also I will not talk about much. Then third comes the problem centered design, on the problems of society and individuals. This is mainly about the small code upskilling of the students, or reskilling. Like Python is required everywhere now. For any student of any stream, it is now almost mandatory, that if, or artificial intelligence, right? So it is, so design the curriculum on the real life problems. That it means like um, design a program for Python learning, the small program of the 3 weeks or 6 weeks, or a design a program of say AutoCAD or 3D printing, right? So, or some live situation design. So these are problem centered designs which are catering to one particular problem, live situations. Okay, so like any 3 months, 6 months courses which can be designed in this case. So basically, uh, what guidelines should be there, and as I said, proper committee should be formed, and committee should include representatives from all the stakeholders, your industry, your parents, alumni are the best persons to give you the right feedback about the curriculum, because they will tell you exactly that what is required in the industry or in the market, and what you people are delivering, what is, where is the gap, and how that gap has to be covered, right? So entire committee should be there, obviously head of the department, senior professors, staff, but all representatives of all the stakeholders should be part of the curriculum committee, right? Create a schedule meetings to make curriculum design. gather the data about educational issues, right? So that is the need analysis part. What is required, where our students are being placed, do the SWOT analysis, what are our strengths, right? If my institute is placed in say Gurgaon, where a lot of industry is there, so I can make the contents of the curriculum in such a way that they are exposed more to the industrial setup, right? If my college is placed in a rural area, then more focus should be given say on community or online classes or calling on the experts. So what is the do the SWOT analysis, what are the strengths, what are the weakness, what are the opportunities, and what are the threats or the challenges. Then schedule the time for the reflection, schedule time for the revision. This is very much important. Once the curriculum has been designed, don't leave it there after. Okay, now it is done, we are free for next 5 years. No, always, oh, sorry. So always keep a check on what improvements can be done, what is the output, how we can, reflections have to be like every time you have to reflect upon that whether the design is optimal or not, or whenever it requires the revision, you can give it. And then explain the design to educational colleagues, community, and students. Okay, so these are the way this is. So again, it is the same thing, assessment. So we were talking about only the curriculum. Yeah. So curriculum development I'll just touch upon because in the afternoon class we'll be talking about the curriculum development and implementation. So basically all these parameters, as I said, from how will we reflect demands from external agencies, what outcomes and content should we include, what teaching learning methods, how will we assess, and how we'll establish links to the evaluation, right? So how will it reflect demands from external? Again, the same story. Involve every stakeholder for designing. What outcomes and contents? See the vision and mission of the institute. See the vision and mission of the department. Okay. See where the students are being placed. Okay. Then obviously the program outcomes and the course outcomes. Then I won't talk about this because then we have what teaching learning methods. Do you think that teaching learning methods are just only the this on the blackboard or online or some experiential learning? I'll talk about this later. So you have project based learning, you have experiential based learning. So what teaching learning methods should be employed? Okay, so planned or taught curriculum or learned curriculum. So for integrated teaching, standalone teaching, this specific instruction strategies and teaching learning methods will be covered tomorrow. Then how will we assess the learners? This part we neglect a lot, that how the assessment has to be done, right? At what level, whether we are asking multiple questions or detailed questions or workplace based assessment or critical questions. So this is Bloom's taxonomy part, which we'll be covering in the afternoon also. So what you want to assess, that whether the student only knows, that is only understanding part, or he knows how to do it, that is the practical part, or he shows how to do it, or he does. So assessment level have also to be followed with the Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, details I'll cover later. So mainly because see, during the COVID time, what was the issue? We shifted to online teaching. That was okay. We did hard work. We made PPTs or the project or whatever we teachers did, and we shifted to online teaching. But assessment was still the same which we used to have in the offline mode. Same type of questions, same type of style of asking the questions. So what was the end result? Every student was getting 9 CGPA and 85% 90 because they were cheating. They had different means to answer because The style of assessment was not modified with the style of teaching. Style of teaching was modified, but style of assessment was not modified. And still that there is challenge for that. Online teaching is good, but how to evaluate is not yet foolproof, right? So that is also to be taken care of. And then how should we establish links to evaluation? Okay. So with this, I would complete stop here, and I'm open for the contents, because evaluation part and the framing of COs and all this we'll do in the successive sessions, right? So I'm open for the questions if people are having.